So in this video, I want to do a quick comparison between two bikes that I've already reviewed, the Nomad 2X full suspension and the Nomad 2. These are two amazing fat tire bikes that I think will work well for anybody who's looking for a fat tire style e-bike. But there are subtle differences and there is a price difference, so you want to make sure you get the one that's right for you. The Nomad 2 that I have is the step-through version, and the Nomad 2X is going to be the camo version with the high step design. Now, the quick and most obvious difference is the Nomad 2X is a full suspension bike. And that means you're going to have a front fork with suspension and you're going to have a rear shock, smoothing out the ride significantly if you go off-road or ride bumpy terrain. Where the Nomad 2 is just going to come with a front suspension and the frame is what's going to be considered a hardtail. But either way you go, you are going to get a smooth ride on both these bikes because with the fat tires, it definitely smooths all this stuff out. Now let's talk about the price on these two bikes since we know the obvious differences between the two. The Nomad 2 is going to come in at a full retail price of $1,999, where the Nomad 2X full suspension is going to come in anywhere between $2,399 and $2,499. Now let's talk about battery size because that's also where you're going to see a difference between the two. The Nomad 2 is going to have a 65-mile range, where the Nomad 2X full suspension is going to have a 75-mile range. The Nomad 2X is actually going to have an 801.6 watt-hour battery, where they claim the Nomad 2 has a 705.6 watt-hour battery. So almost 100 watt-hours difference to give you that 10 extra miles of range. Both bikes are very capable of hitting the max speed of 28 miles an hour, and they have a 750 watt rear hub motor. One of the cool things about Velotric's bikes is the Apple Find My feature, and both bikes are equipped with this. Now, the Nomad 2, its front suspension is actually going to be 100 millimeters of travel. It does have a lockout, but the Nomad 2X full suspension is going to come with 20 more millimeters of travel, so you get 120 millimeters of travel on the Nomad 2X full suspension. Both bikes are going to come with what's called sensor swap, which is one of my favorite features that I believe Velotric was one of the first companies to really push this forward in the industry. And that's where you can switch between either a cadence sensor or a torque sensor. But Velotric definitely has this down really well because you can do this easily on the fly. Now, bouncing back to the batteries, both batteries are going to be UL certified, so you don't have to worry about having any issues when it comes to battery safety. These batteries meet all the standard safety requirements that is required in the United States to be considered UL certified. Now with the Nomad 2, you're going to get a tad bit lighter bike. You're looking at 75 pounds according to the website, and you're looking at 80 pounds for the Nomad 2X full suspension. So not a huge difference, considering that the Nomad 2X full suspension has that extra suspension setup and all that linkage. Kind of actually surprised me, to be honest with you. Both bikes have an incredible max payload. The Nomad comes in at a little bit lower level. You can hold up to 505 pounds, which is a massive payload on a bike. But the Nomad 2X full suspension, it can actually handle 560 pounds. So if you're going to be doing any type of bike packing, hunting, or just commuting to, like, say, the grocery store, I don't think you're going to have to worry about maxing out the payload on these bikes because, honestly, they have some of the largest weight capacities that I've seen on any fat tire bike. Now, both of these bikes have the same 4-inch by 26-inch tires on here, so you're going to get a nice smooth ride from the tires that are equipped. They both have the exact same control panel. They have the exact same screen. Now, both of these bikes come in a multitude of colors, so you're definitely going to want to go check out the Velotric's website, and you're also going to want to check out their website for the current lowest price because, as we know, we're coming into a great time of year to buy e-bikes. Everything is going to start being on sale, so I imagine Velotric is going to be running some of those special holiday sales, so if you want to pick up an e-bike, right now is probably the time to do it. And if you guys want to pick yours up, I would appreciate it if you used my links down below. Guys, I appreciate you watching all of my content. This has been a super fun year already for Ride Electric reviews, and I look forward to showing you all the bikes I'm going to be reviewing over the next year. But as always, get out there and ride your e-bike. Maybe a Velotric Nomad.